Style for me. It's an easy fight. Trust me. His style is easy. He got a wild style. If people think I'm wild, come on. He wants to call out the best fighters, but he don't want to fight the best fighters. Dillian Whyte, get your together, man. That's all you got to do. Go fight the right fights and stop running away from the fight. Dillian Whyte is a...
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Deontay Wilder. This video, Dillian Whyte posted it on his Instagram. Wilder ranting and raving like he normally does. But listen, it happened a little while ago and Wilder's gone quiet since, if the truth be known. It's amazing. And actually, this little, whatever you want to call it, that's going on at the moment, reminds me of exactly what happened when Wilder was linked to AJ. What do we know? Whenever AJ had a fight booked, "Oh man, Anthony Joshua, I got $50 million in the bag. I got the money in the bag. It's in the bag." All that kind of business. AJ's not got a fight. "Oh man, he called me Shelly. He called me a hillbilly." This is typical Wilder stuff. What do we know now? Dillian Whyte gets smoothed, gets memed by Povetkin. Shot to bits by Shot to Bitskin. Yeah? Shot to Bitskin. Shot to Bitskin. Eyes Dillian. Wilder. "Oh man, Dillian, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Dillian Whyte, he don't want no smoke. He my girlfriend. I make Dillian Whyte my girlfriend. He want to be my girl." All that kind of business. Dillian avenges, smooths out, yeah? Put to sleepkin. Alexander put to sleepkin. Got his clout washed. He got memed. And then Wilder again, silent. It's amazing. It's actually amazing. He was genuinely, I even did a video about it. I actually gave credit to Wilder and I said, you know what? Maybe he's turned a corner. Maybe he got his wig pushed back. He got turned out. Yeah, Theory turned him all the way out. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's not get into no semantics or let's not get into any funny business. Theory turned him out. I know there's certain dons out there who don't like to hear it, but it's the facts. He got turned out. Yeah, got turned out. Ended up twerking, but he was saying the right things. But I'd forgot, if the truth be known. I completely forgot. This is what he does. I don't know what's happened in the last year, where obviously there hasn't been much fights going on. I've been out of the loop of things. Wilder caught me lacking on this one. I thought, wow, wait a minute. Wilder's talking up. Because he normally don't talk up, does he? When was the last time Wilder said he wants AJ or wants Dillian? In fact, AJ's one thing. I've never heard Wilder ever say, you know what, I want to fight Dillian. In fact, as the DMs exposed, Wilder said, "Oh man, I'll never fight you." Oh, what that business? Now obviously he got no belt, turned out, washed by Theory, washed by Mr. Pillarfist. Then he looked like he wanted a little bit of smoke somewhere. Because I remember at the time, Wilder was meant to be fighting in January. "Oh man, I ain't waiting for Theory. My career gonna go on." That's what he was saying. And in that talk, he was saying, "Oh well, you know, Dillian's gonna be fighting, and yeah, Dillian can get it next. And Dillian, he's always trying to message me. He's like my girlfriend, and Dillian's like a scorned ex-GF. All this business." Now, no joke, Dillian's avenged himself. Shot to Bitskin, got washed. And for the last 10 days, Wilder hasn't made a sound. He's been silent. Not even a little bit of a sound has he made. And it's frustrating because there's no accountability. No one holds him accountable. He's allowed to just swan around the place. And he hasn't fought for 14 months now. This needs to be the next fight. The Theory thing, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Your court thing sounds dead anyway. Bob Arum exposed it. Bob Arum said, listen, Wilder, the court thing, that's not it. Whatever you think it isn't. And the problem is, a lot of you dons who reverse cowgirl Wilder, yeah, who hop on OnlyFans and just start riding Wilder, you're the reason his career's going left. It's going left. Not even a bit right is it going. Because you should be saying to him, yeah, the court thing's great, but let's get back in and let's get pushing. Because you ain't getting no younger. He's not 30 million year old himself, ain't he? 36 or something, 35. You ain't getting no older. And you just been washed. Do you, like, on a serious note, there's a reason people say you need to get back on the horse. Because you don't want to... My man isn't 22 years old and just got washed. His name ain't Anthony Yardy. Yeah, Yardy got washed, got straight back on the horse, got washed again. But now, on a serious note, even though Yardy got washed and got washed again, the point is, he got straight back on the horse. It's better to get back on the horse and iron out what needs to be ironed out. All this hanging around the place, what you doing? It's not helping no one. It's not helping your finances, it's not helping your career, and it's not helping anything. There's nothing positive about it. You can sit there crying about, oh man, he the most feared, but fear. We can all whine and cry and how things ain't right. End of the day, your team was sleeping. Shelley 90-year-old Winkle was sleeping, and that's the end of that. He let the contract expire, and you got caught lacking. Sometimes you got to suck it up, admit to yourself, my team's whack, and make changes. Unfortunately, Mr. Black Power Wilder was too busy firing his brother, Mark Breland, and not firing the Dons, Winkle, yeah, and whoever else need to go. They're the real problem. They're the reason he lost $100 million from AJ, because they're too much. I don't know what they was doing, because they're not even good at business. It's embarrassing. How are you going to be 80 years old and not be good at business? And I've been in the business for 30 years. What were you thinking? In fact, I know what they was thinking. Well, this is a $400 million fight. You just thought that, well, obviously they thought they weren't going to get washed by Pillow Fist. They didn't realise that, at the end of the day, I guess that's a sport, but that's why you take opportunities when they're there. You were saying that AJ was stiff, AJ was slow. You were saying that Fury was the best fighter. Well, if that's the case, although we know it's not, but still, either way, 100 million is 100 million. You're making 5 against Fury. Like, what kind of business is that? Your team, and again, look at everyone around Wilder. Every time they make the same mistake, there's not one Don who's a little bit critical. Wilder's fangirls. All they want to do, no matter what he does, they sit there and say, oh man, Black Power. And then 2-2s, he fires his trainer, and all that goes out the window. All of it goes out the window. There's no consistency, just riding him, whatever he does, he starts twerking. Oh man, that's in fashion, and TikTok, and what a business. Never once. He's like a spoilt child. There's no what's the word? There's no discipline. He ain't taking no responsibility, or no one is. No one wants to hold him accountable, or not even that. What's the word I'm looking for? No one wants to put him in line and say, listen, you're perhaps not making the best decisions right now, because the AJ things are long gone, all the way gone. Your belt is also all the way gone. But what are you going to do? Just keep crying and going in court, because as it's looking now, I'm not even being biased. I think he should have fought Fury last year, but for whatever reason, he went missing. Let's not make out he was campaigning for the fight for the whole of 2020. Look at his social media. He didn't make one post until it was like October. Well, that's no good, is it? That's no good doing it right at the end. If you wanted it that bad, you should have been out there protesting. Look what happened when Vlad got beat by Fury, yeah? Vlad was desperate for the fight within the week after the fight. Within a week after he lost, he was out there publicly saying, I want it, and I've signed the rematch stuff. Wilder, it had been about 9 months since he got his wig pushed off his head. No, and now he's trying to, you know what I mean? But not one person who has really stood up and said, or who's really stood up and taken control of this situation. Because Dillian Whyte's there. Dillian Whyte's been there. They're all silent now. Outside of Dillian Whyte, other people, who's going to step up and take accountability? You know what? Let's make it. Now's the time for action. And from what I'm hearing from Bob Arum, you ain't getting the Fury fight. Even if, at best, Bob Arum's lawyers have told everyone, at best, Wilder's going to get a payout. That ain't going to change. Do you understand? So you could have, for example, fought in January. You could have fought in March. And this is the problem. Even Wilder's lawyers aren't doing their job. Because if their lawyers were doing their job, they'd have told Wilder, there's a 99% chance all you're going to get is money. Therefore, it's best you crack on with your career. Now, that hasn't happened. So what I'm guessing is, Wilder's got some B-rate lawyer. Same thing happened with Mike Tyson, to be fair. These promoters and these managers, like Winkle, remember Winkle's from that Don era, Winkle's from that Don King era where they all bring their incestuous lawyers and they all bring their incestuous accountants on board who ain't no good. They're all just looking to milk. So no doubt Shelley Winkle's brought his incestuous lawyer Don on, and they're just not got no good advice. They probably told Wilder, "Yeah, man, we gon' get you $100 million. Step aside, and y'all gonna be in the fight. It's gonna be you versus AJ." That's what they're telling him. No joke. I've heard Wilder's lawyers are telling him, never mind Fury, we're gonna get you $100 million, and you're gonna be fighting for all 4 belts against Fury, because we're gonna get AJ stripped of all of his belts, and then that's what they're saying, 100%. Wilder's lawyers are telling him they're gonna strip AJ, and we're gonna get you $200 million, and we're gonna get you more than Floyd versus Manny. And the thing is, I'd love to tell you I'm joking. That's what's happening. Because if they were realistic with him, he'd have been moving on now. You ain't getting the Fury fight. Fury don't want to fight no one. He don't want to... Listen, what do we know? When Fury wants to fight someone, it ain't rocket science. Just look how the first 2 fights went. Did you hear any problems? Did you hear about courts? Or anything? For the first 2 fights, no. Fury don't mess about. When he wants something, he goes for it. When he wanted Hay, he was all over it. When he wanted Vlad, he was all over it. When he wanted Wilder, he was all over it. He don't want you. And the court thing's peak for you right now. So that's not going to work. At best, you're going to get the belt. And this is the thing as well. Even if you did get, Fury still doesn't have to fight you. So I just don't get this whole thing of just waiting for someone else. You got washed. Time to build up. And even the WBC aren't backing you now, and rightly so. You have to earn your position. You never earned the belt in the first place. So now, beat Dillian Whyte. Because we know Dillian Whyte's in that immediate WBC position. So rather than hang around the place begging and whining and waiting God knows how long, beat Dillian. And then you'll be getting the Fury fight anyway. Or you'll be getting the WBC belt anyway. But I think what Wilder's scared of is, number 1, he's going to get washed by Dillian. Number 2, he doesn't really want to fight AJ. He's thinking, well, if I do beat Dillian, then AJ, if AJ and Fury fight, I'm going to have to fight AJ. So he's kind of hanging back thinking, oh, I need to get my belt back, but I don't want to really do any work for it. Do you know what I'm saying? He don't want to have to fight Dillian. He don't want to have to potentially fight AJ. He wants to, in an ideal world, have Wilder and Fury free. But this isn't an ideal world, and that's what your team's meant to do. Your team's meant to step in and say, Wilder, I know the LDBC Gimpazoids, yeah? I know the LDBC Goofazoids. I know 78 Jabba the Hutt is coming around your yard and filming videos where he's on you, riding hard, reverse cowgirl and all sorts. I understand that. I understand you've got a whole bag of 50-year-old man gassing you up on the internet all day. I understand that it's going to your head, but we are business people. We are lawyers. We actually know what's going on, and you ain't going to get what you think you're getting. Just because blue balls, yeah? These men have 40 IQ. Just because 40 IQ man on the internet are telling you, yeah, man, he gonna get $100 million and he should do nothing less than he needs to demand all the belts. If Wilder doesn't get $100 million and all the belts, then he gonna do. You man haven't got no leverage. You ain't got no. People are telling me you ain't got no contract. Your contract's void. It's been over a year. What? And you're trying to make out you're calling the shots about Wilder's not going to allow the AJ and Fury. And there's not one, and it's the thing, look at the actions, there's not one person. I'd love to sit here and tell you, oh well, you're just commentating on what's happening on the internet. No, look at the actions. His teammate stepped in and told him, let's move on. Because what's stopping you fight anyway? Just keep fighting. Keep fighting whilst this court stuff plays out. Because for all this time you've sat waiting, for what? To what gain? If the money's coming, if you're going to get some payout from Fury, you're going to get that anyway. And don't tell them, people say things like, oh, well, you know, he's caught up in court. No, he's not, because he was meant to be fighting in January. He was looking for an opponent. I think it was Brazil 4 or something. I think, yeah, one of them ones. Oh, we're going to fight Gerald Washington again. 100%. Or Luis Ortiz. I think it was Luis Ortiz as well. But yeah, oh, we're going to fight Luis Ortiz a 4th time. Yeah, no doubt. This Dillian fight needs to happen now. Dillian wants you badly. So all that talk you was giving it, oh man, fee, fi, fo, fum, and you know, I smell the blood of an England. All that stuff, let's hear it now. All that you were saying, oh, Dillian's my girlfriend, and Dillian's scorned, Dillian's my scorned ex, and I want to be pregnant. Well, listen, Dillian wants to impregnate you, 100%. Dillian wants to impregnate you. He wants you badly. Yeah? You saw how Shotvetkin got it. Alexander Shotvetkin. You saw what happened to him. You don't want no more. And this is the thing with Wilder. Just come out and say, I don't want no smoke. Dillian, I talked a good game. When you was disposed, when you was predisposed with other business, I talked a good game. But you know what I'm like? That's what he needs to come out. Wilder needs to come out and say, Dillian, this right here is an open message, an open letter to Dillian Whyte. When you was engaged in other business, I got brave, basically, Dillian. I felt confident. I knew you couldn't fight me at the moment. I got confident. Got a bit above myself. Had all the LDBC goofazoids gassing me up. The whole internet was on my back, riding me hard. Reverse cowgirl. And then you beat Shotvetkin. And ever since, now the reality is setting in. I'm not really feeling it. Just a simple open letter. Don't have to be long. Just something like that. Along the lines of that. All that fee, fi, fo, fum. I'm not really feeling that same way anymore. It's different now. Now it's in front of me. It's different. That's what he needs to do. And everyone, as a man, everyone can respect that. What we can't respect is, you gone radio silent. He just dropped off the earth, didn't he? All of this XGF stuff disappeared. Huh?